How to never get denied for a loan again.
You know what? It's a lot of things that we don't know as a community that we need to know.
Turn that penny into a 5.3. You want to learn how to make your money work hard for you rather than working hard for money? I want you to be there. Tune in. Hey, it's me again, and I am here with my girl.
Hello there. It's time that we have a discussion. Maybe you have found yourself in a financial rut, or you want to take control of your financial future. Did you know that you can borrow from your insurance policy? And if you can't, then you have the wrong policy. Let's just say you need to buy a car. You'll have to take out a loan from the bank, right? The bank might loan you money at a high interest rate. Insane! You will be forced to pay this money back, on top of the interest incurred, and 100% of it goes to the bank. All you're left with is the car that loses value the second you drive off the lot, and an expensive car bill. But imagine being able to borrow the money from your special designed life insurance policy, guaranteed, with no applications, no credit checks, and it's tax-free. Under the Millionaire Concept offered by CL Insurance Group, you can borrow from your life insurance policy, purchase the car full price, and recapture all of the interest to pay yourself back, not the bank. And to top it all off, you'll own the car free and clear, with no harassing bank fees. And you still have an insurance policy with a healthy death benefit that covers you and your family if the unexpected happens. Sounds too good to be true, right? So let's recapture. 1. Your policy's cash value is still there, earning high interest. 2. You own the car free and clear. 3. Your family is still left with a healthy death benefit. 4. And instead of paying a bank back high interest rates from a loan, that money goes to you. Now that's a millionaire concept, living your net worth and not chasing a net worth. Visit www.clinsurancegroup.com or call 1-800-707-4961 for more information.
I'm standing here discussing a simple concept. What concept? The insurance cash flow concept, right? I like to talk about together we achieve miracles, teamwork, making the dream work. Well, today we're going to come together. We're going to come together as a team. We're going to understand some great concepts to create wealth, how we can structure wealth with whatever we have, whatever we're working with. And when I say working, meaning what money do you have now that you can take and put into a concept that will create wealth? Guess what? Your bills. How about your bill money? How about the money that you're paying your mortgage? How about the car note that you're paying right now? So now to accomplish this, you must think in a certain way. It's just understanding our thinking. And so when you think in a certain way, so ask me, how should you be thinking? I'm glad you asked. You should be thinking truth. Understanding that truth, abundance is your birthright, regardless of appearances. We have a royal right to understand wealth can be achieved, wealth can be accomplished by just thinking a certain way. And I'm so glad that you can be a part of this concept, the insurance cash flow concept. So Janelle is going to be joining me. She's going to be asking some questions. Some of the questions that you may have and you want answers to. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to be talking about the Q&As of how does this insurance cash flow really work and how can it benefit you? So I'm glad you asked, and that's why I'm here to answer those questions. Welcome to the insurance cash flow concept and why it's so important that this information is shared and why you want to be a part of this information that we're going to be talking about today. Janelle, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
So some of the things we always hear on TV, learn how to become rich, learn how to become wealthy, all of these things. How about understanding just your own financial forecast, wherever you are financially, not something you have to actually invest or reinvent, because this is not about reinventing the wheel, right? This is about understanding how money flows, how cash is dispersed. And so if you're always on the other end of the stick, meaning debt, loans, finance, interest rates, okay?
I'll stay in debt.
So you'll always stay in debt. But what is your desire? Your desire is to become what? Wealthy, right? Wealthy is just being able to exchange goods for services.
Absolutely.
And so if abundance, and I'm going to say that to all, because abundance is your birthright, just like it's my birthright, okay? God is no respecter of people, but in all thy getting, guess what? You must get an understanding. And without that understanding of your cash flow and how money works, it's like having holes in your pocket. And you're always working, exchanging dollar for hours, which is okay. But if you're exchanging dollar for hours, why not make those dollars work for you? There's two types of people, Janelle. That's either you at work or your money at work.
Okay.
So where do you stand? Do you want your money to be at work?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And I'm glad. And I get serious when I talk about that. I think it's so important. So I know you have a bunch of questions for me. Before we get started, I want to give credit where credit is due.
Okay.
I stumbled across this book, okay? Becoming Your Own Banker. Of course, the first thing I assumed was, what do you mean, a bank? I mean, what it takes to become a bank, owning your own bank, that's a lot of money. Of course, they're going to be looking at your credit. And if I haven't even filed my income tax, or my W-2s don't look like, you know, it's not going to fit the description of, so I'm going to think this is out of my reach.
Right.
Well, when I found out that becoming a bank is just taking control of your own finance, your own income that comes into your household. So what if I told you you can pay your bills, you can buy a house, buy a car with your money, and the money is still there, earning interest at a compounding rate. So understanding compounding, for example, some of the things that we are just not exposed to, just as a culture, as a people, understanding the lack of knowledge is what destroys us. It's not the knowledge, it's the lack of it. Okay. So I want you to definitely get those questions in, but this insurance concept is so important.
Yeah. With that being said, like becoming your own bank, and like you said, the money will still be there. You know, that's one of the top questions. Can I start with that one?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, because what do you mean I can
like
borrow against my money and the money still be there?
Okay, so let's go into just the understanding of the principle, okay? So you have your money typically in a traditional banking system, right?
Right. Credit union or a bank, yeah.
Pretty much. Okay, so that money is earning probably about 0.25% interest, okay? So imagine having that money for over a period of 4 years, just sitting in the bank, but you're a great saver, right? So you're saving your money, okay, so maybe not.
I would like to be.
Okay, one day in the future. So assume that money is in the bank over a 4-year period. Roughly about, you're able to put about $2,000 maybe a month away.
Okay.
And that's about averaging about, let's just round it off to about $25,000 a year, okay? That's over 4 years, you're going to have about $100,000 in 4 years. Great saver. Now, if I design, this is in the bank, in the traditional banking system. It's your money. You saved it. But why would you allow your money to not work hard for you? You're going to put it in a banking institution. You're going to be all excited about looking at your statement. I got $50,000 saved in 2 years. I got $75,000 saved in 3 years. I have $100,000 saved in 4 years. Okay, and the bank is saying, thank you, because we're taking your money and we're going to loan it out probably about 10 times. They can take out a loan and loan it to other investors or other homeowners or people that want to finance a car at 10 times the amount. So for your $100,000, they can loan $100,000 10 times off of your money sitting in the bank. And in return, you're going to get roughly about 0.25%. So over 4 years, you may have about $10, okay, in your account because you did a great job saving your money in our institution. No offense to the banks, because of course you still want to have somewhere for your money. But what if I told you you can have a residence for your income, your money, a permanent residence, and every time you use that money and you return that money back to its permanent residence, it's going to be growing at a compounding rate. Okay? So that's a little over your head right now. Why? Because no exposure. It's the lack of knowledge.
Okay.
So let's go back. Now you have this 4-year concept.
Mm-hmm.
You have $100,000 that you saved over 4 years, correct?
Right.
Great. Now I designed a special policy. And so we're going to call it the YLIP.
Okay.
Your life insurance policy.
Write that down.
Okay. So your life insurance policy,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to start your own life insurance policy. Now, one of the great things about your LIP, which is YLIP, right? The great thing about that concept is that it is guaranteed on loan approvals. There are tax-free benefits associated with this. So I know you have a lot of questions.
That's a tricky one. Catch that tax-free one.
But we're going to go back to the very first question that you asked, and that's just understanding how your money flow, how the cash flow concept really works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So back to the concept of that 4-year period. In this special design policy that I'm going to design for you, most policies pay average 4 to 6% interest. So let's assume I can get you a rate at about 6% interest on your $100,000 that you saved over 4 years. At 6% interest, that's going to be an extra $6,000 on your savings. So now you have $106,000 in that same account. And so when I mentioned tax-free, I mean, unlike a 401k, you're saving, but you're saving up until you're age 70. And if you want a home, you can pull the money out, but that comes with penalties, right?
Yeah.
Imagine being able to contact the insurance company and say, I would like to take out a loan against my savings of $106,000. So now you have that money saved in your YLIP, your life insurance policy. So that means that you can take out this loan. Within 3 days, the money is in your account. And on top of that, the $106,000 that you need to use to go and now purchase that home, or let's say you want a car, you can now pull that money out. And when I made the statement that the $106,000 is technically still there, because all you're doing is using your money as collateral. So it's like a collateral loan. The $100,000 is still there, earning 6% in compounding.
After I borrowed it.
After you borrowed against it. So let's just stop there. Take that in.
Yeah.
Breathe that in right there. Imagine the penny concept. I talk about that a lot. The penny concept. Most of us are not even aware how compounding interest actually works. So I'll give you an example. Take a penny, right? And hold that penny up. Value that penny. Imagine I'm holding a penny. And I say, I wonder what will this penny produce if I let this penny sit and double over 30 days? I'm glad you asked. A penny doubling over 30 days, Janelle, is over $5.3 million, $68,709.12.
Wow.
I was shocked. I value pennies. I will always have respect for pennies now because that's the value of cash flow.
Off just a penny.
1 penny.
Wow.
1 penny. So the insurance concept is so critical in our day and age. Most of us, and I'm talking about now we're going into cultural wise, understanding that culturally we are not understanding how insurance actually works, the benefit of insurance. So for the most part, because it's considered as a debt in a sense, because now I have to pay this additional bill and I'm already struggling to take care of what? Gas,
Bills,
lights,
family,
groceries, just the basic essentials, right?
right?
So the insurance is always going to be typically the last one to get paid on the list. So most of us started off with policies, but we ended up with, I call junk policies, and I'm just going to call it like it is, term policies that term out. So I've been paying this policy for 30 years, and it terms out. I basically have made the insurance companies rich. Okay? So understanding that concept of how am I going to become my own banker? How am I going to benefit from this policy? Well, you benefit from designing it in a special way that is going to create wealth for not just you, but for generations to come. Because if I teach you how to become your own banker, how to create the infinite banking concept, how to create the private strategy that most people, I mean, there's so many names that they cloak them behind. And so when I say understanding this concept and why it's so critical to understand the insurance cash flow concept, because you're going to leave an inheritance for your children's children. And so by the time 3 generations down, your great grandkids and their kids' kids will be able to realize millions upon millions compounding. Can you imagine having $10 million compounding at a 6% rate?
That's amazing.
And so it's not too good to be true. It is absolutely true.
Okay.
You can have just that just by starting now. Everything is now. Everything is designed around now. When are you going to take the time to consult with myself? Because I'll sit down and I'll design a policy to meet your specific needs. I don't know if you can afford $100. I don't know if you can afford $500. I don't know if you can afford to put away $2,000 a month. But when I sit down with you and we find that out, that's how we will design your policy.
So you can work on my budget.
I can work with your budget. So how fast and how soon do you want to make up on the lost time? Because that money is there, and the money will always be there for you, and it's always compounding. Now, one of the other things too, insurance has been around for over 100 years, longer than taxes.
Wow.
So, but I've been
of course,
exposed to linear pay, exchanging dollar for hours. So that means I really don't have a real concept about wealth. I really don't have a real concept about how money flows, because I've been doing what? The 40-40-40 plan for so long that I am conditioned to work 40 hours a week, 40 years of my life for 40% of my pay. And if I'm good, I'll get my 401k at 70. But guess what? That's tax deferred. Tax deferred. So that means that if taxes, and as far as I check, they're still going up. So by the time you turn 70, you may be paying almost up to 50%. So what's the point of having $200,000?
You only get half.
And you're only going to get half.
Wow. Well, I'm so happy that you introduced me to this concept, because I'm ready to be wealthy, you know, and stop living paycheck to paycheck.
Absolutely.
And when I heard about this, I had to hop on it.
Absolutely.
So I have a lot of people that want some answers.
Great.
So hopefully we can give them some answers.
And I'm glad, and I'm here to help. That's the purpose. So I feel like I'm on this life quest, this life mission now. And believe it or not, my background is real estate. My background is real estate, and they really kind of tie in together, you know, because it's about wealth. It's about building wealth. And so when I have all of this money now in my policy, what do I do with the money? How can I generate more money because I'm taking out these loans and I'm paying myself back? Why not real estate? Right?
Absolutely.
Because now I have what is called residual income coming in.
Good word.
So we haven't even talked about the process of paying it back. I'm sure you have questions on that, so I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So you touched on one thing I want to point out. You touched on place of residence for your money. When you say that, do you mean when you borrow from your policy, pay yourself back?
So what I mean is this. money has to rest somewhere. Where's your money resting now? In a traditional banking system.
Right.
Some people may have it under their mattress.
Okay.
You know, and I remember my great grandmother back in the days, we know where they kept their money, right?
In the box, buzzing sniffles. Yep.
So we all know pretty much that was the traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was just looking on the internet the other day and I realized that, you know, even when it comes to black-owned banks, black-owned credit unions, when loans were not available.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a credit union that was founded in, I think it was Virginia.
Okay.
And I thought this was really amazing because it was 10 educators and they started Heritage Credit Union.
Okay.
And when they first opened their doors, it was in a woman's kitchen.
Really?
And so she would go to her drawer and then she would pull out the money and then they would assign you this $1,000 loan to pay your bills and then you would pay it back. And that's how they founded their first, and it's been around since 1936.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so it's just
Wow.
amazing how, you know, so when I say the residents, where is your money parked?
Okay, that's what you mean.
Most
Okay.
people are putting their money in stocks, putting their money in bonds, they're putting their money in 401ks, they're putting it in, you know, RAs, they're parking their money somewhere. So our money have to be, but who's making the money off of your money sitting? And if you want access to your money, you can't even get it.
No, we'd be penalized.
You'll be
For sure.
penalized. Well, this is a tax-free. There's a distinction, tax-free.
Okay. Can you touch
And
on
it
that
has
a
been
little bit?
around for over 100 years. Tax-free simply is that simple. What that simply means is this. I want my money now, so I'm going to contact my institution, which is where my money is residing at. I'm
Okay.
going to contact, hey, Mr. Insurance Company,
Okay.
I would like to take out a loan
Okay.
against my collateral because I'm looking at my policy and I see I have $106,000, $100 that I saved, and $6,000 that I made off of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're actually, one of the great things about understanding, you didn't technically make off of them because once you become a policy owner, you're actually a part of the ownership as well too. So that's from dividends coming in. And so off of the dividends, because you are a part owner, because the insurance company can only stay in business by giving out loans. So that means similar to a credit union.
Right.
What benefits do a credit union have versus a bank? The credit union benefits are you're an owner. So I can get easier terms, easier rates, right?
Right.
So as a policy holder, I am an owner. That is so amazing.
That is awesome.
So I know this is like really amazing. I know this is some great information. You guys have to get this. This is one of the things. We're going to talk more about some of the topics that you want to talk about. But right now, I want you to absorb the information that you just received on this insurance cash flow concept. Thank you so much.
I'm excited about this.
I am too. This is great information, Janelle.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Oh, she did it. Oh, she did it. Live your blessed life.